Yep. Respected Dean, VCRI, Tirunelveli, and respected RGDC, Madurai and Sivagan district, and other senior faculties, respected Professor and Head, Department of Veterinary Clinical Medicine, VCRI, Tirunelveli, then my fellow veterinarians, good afternoon, almost good evening to all. So myself, let me just introduce myself. Myself, Dr. E. Venkatesh Kumar, presently working as assistant professor. I did my UG in VCRI Namakkal during 92-98, then PG at Kerala. Then I worked 5 years in the field as a veterinarian. 5 years in the field as a veterinarian. Here, let me enlighten some of the points just to have a little bit outlook. Okay. Common metabolic diseases coming under the category of milk fever, ketosis, fat liver syndrome, hypomagnesemia internet is very rare. Then regarding acute hypokalemia, this is commonly nowadays we are experiencing in the teaching veterinary institutes. In field conditions, it's very difficult to diagnose. Only thing is you have to go for serum biochemical evaluation. Then only you can able to identify the actual etiology and confirm that is. Next. So the production disease, as we all know, that it is because of the imbalance between the input and the output. The input of feed and is lesser than that of output. So totally it is called as throughput. It is giving a negative energy balance to the animal during the transition period. That is the lactation, actually the calving, actually pregnant, calving and lactation. So transition period is from the pregnant to the lactation. That's a period the animal is experiencing stress and negative energy balance. Because of that only the metabolic disorders are commonly occurring. Next please. The milk fever, it's a simple thing, everybody can diagnose, but in the first stage it's very difficult to diagnose because the animal have an excitatory effect and it will have a little bit more elevated temperature. As we all know that it is having subnormal temperature and sternal recumbency with the lateral kinking of neck and dilatation of pupil, prolapse of rectum, everything. So the serum biochemical evaluation in the field level is nowadays we can do with the human just blood analyzing laboratories to assess the exact etiology. By the way, you can very well confirm that milk fever. If the calcium level is below 7.5 to 5 milligram per deciliter, the animal may enter into the recumbency and lateral kinking. The third stage, the animal may have a lateral recumbency. That time, the animal may be in a comatose stage. It is very difficult to assess. That time, if you are giving the treatment based on the clinical observation, the animal may recover. This will give a very good name to the veterinarians in the field. So far, your dog succeeded with that. Then here, the prevention is one of the main thing you have to think. The calcium homeostasis is governed by 3 hormones. One is calcitonin, then one is parathormone and vitamin D3. The parathormones to be stimulated during the last 30 days of pregnancy by the way of reducing the calcium supplementation. So normally, if you are supplementing the calcium, the parathyroid gland will go for dormant stage. When immediately after calving, there is excessive loss of calcium through colostrum and milk. The dormant parathyroid gland is not secreting the parathyroid hormone. That is very much needed for the mobilization of calcium from the bone to the blood. To restore the blood calcium level, parathyroid hormone is needed. So if you are giving reduction in the prefers to take because of acidity, it prefers to take water, restrict the water intake. That's one of the another one more practical. Because if we are making the animal to access to the excessive water, it will engorge itself, and because of the engorgement, the animal may feel distress, dyspnea, and death. Okay. Metabolic alkalosis very rarely will be getting because of the abomasal problems. Most of the time, we are not able to identify the abomasal problems by physical examination. That's why it's having then urea poisoning. So you need to give vinegar and normal saline. Next thing. Choke. So I am just deviating from the metabolic origins. Again, coming to some of the practical experience I want to share. Choke means don't push the foreign body which is there in the cervical esophagus. Try to get it through oral cavity by putting mouth gap. That's one of the things. So if it is very difficult to get it, means you need to give some muscle relaxant like diazepam and xylazine, and put the water, drink water's mouth gag or the Gunther's mouth gag. You have to make the things to come out through oral cavity. If you are pushing into the thoracic esophagus, it's very difficult to get it. Next. So some other thing is the tapioca, the maize cob, beetroot, guava, so many things we have written. See that in case of choke, the animal may have a free gas bloat. After relieving that, it will be subsiding. Okay, next. Another one more free gas bloat is causing disease is tetanus. Some of the leading foreign bodies. You may think that some of the leading foreign bodies actually there in the field having a both end tight. So if it is taken by the animal, automatically it will have just obstruction. Actually, is having anchorage with the epiglottis on the arachnoid cartilage. The one end will be entering the esophagus. Automatically, the subsequently the animal is eating means the forages will lodge into the other end. So it will form a just bolus, and subsequently the animal will have a bloat. So you have to go for just oral cavity examination. If it is, if you are having equipped with the endoscopy, you can identify the thing. The next thing is you just think about foreign body syndrome. So acute abdomen, foreign body syndrome. You cannot specify the clinical sign. It will have somewhat intermittent fever, distension of abdomen, and you will have a reduction in heat. So pain. Some of the animals may have a pain sensation by expressing bruxism. That means grinding up teeth. The animal may have a grinding up teeth. So if the animal is having grinding up teeth, you need to think about some pain in the body, or it may have a abomasal ulcer. Abomasal ulcer during the stress. So immediately after carving or NSAIDs, if you are using NSAIDs excess, automatically the animal may enter into the abomasal ulcer because it is a true stomach, like monogastrics. So in my experience, we are giving continuously 3-4 days naloxone. Definitely the animals are having is coming. And 4 stomach disorders you control over. Then you got to go for rectal examination. So most of the time there will be interception or any cecal dilatation, and sometimes it may have a fetal dropsical conditions. Whatever the conditions is coming, leading from. So let me begin. Next. So endoscopy is there, you can identify the foreign body, then you can detect. Next. So 6 F's I wanted to do, just explain. One is feed. So any abdominal distension is there with the pain. That's called as acute abdomen. It's a totally acute abdomen. 6 F's. Feed. If the animal is having a ruminal impaction, think about undigested food material. So definitely flatus. Suppose any intestinal obstruction, there will be a distended loop. Then bloat also, in case of rumen gas. Fluid. Peritoneal cavity is having excess fluid or dropsical condition of the fetus. You can very well identify the peritonitis and the ascites. Ascites due to hypoproteinemia, liver problems. That will have a clear fluid while doing peritonicentesis. Then feces. Suppose the animal is not passing, just dung means that definitely the animal will get the distension of abdomen, foreign body. Then fetus. Next thing. So see that both the sides they are having a distension. Next. These are some of the abdominal contours by which you can just think about some of the diagnosis. So bilateral ventral distension is there, definitely there will be a fluid in the peritoneal cavity. Free gas bloat, only left paralumbar fossa will have a tympanic resonance. Frothy bloat, the whole area will be there. The next. So we need to assess which are the conditions having emergency surgical procedure, or sometimes you can manage the acute abdomen with the medical management. The medical management, paralytic ileus. Here the segmental and peristaltic motility is there. It is not there, automatically the animal will have a distended intestinal loops and the distension of the abdomen. So we need to give lavish fluid therapy for paralytic ileus. Lavish fluid therapy and some motility modifiers. You can give a NEOS treatment if the animal is not having a intestinal obstruction. Then another one more point is the DH, diaphragmatic hernia. Any foreign body that is lodging in the reticulum, it is ideal for some time. When the animal finds the intra-abdominal pressure increase, it finds a way to move. If it is entering into the, if you are just pricking with the diaphragm continuously, the diaphragm will be weak. Once it is having a severe straining while coughing or with increased fetal, actually gravid uterus is occupying the more space in the abdomen, definitely there is a chance of getting diaphragm herniation. So the reticulum is herniated into the diaphragm. The typical signs of diaphragmatic hernia is recurrent tympani not responding to your treatment. Recurrent tympani not responding to treatment. It will be persistent for more than 1 week. Okay. Then some of the animals may have a regurgitation. Some of the animals may have regurgitation. Some of the animals may have a hypermotility of the rumen. While palpating the rumen, normally the rumen motility will be around 5 minutes you have to palpate the left paralumbar fossa. 5 to 7 will be the motility. If it is more than 12 or 13, 15, definitely there will be chance of getting traumatic reticulitis and diaphragmatic hernia. So diaphragmatic hernia, if you are auscultating the heart area, both the side, you will get a fluid pouring sound near the heart. So normally the reticular sound will be heard in the 7th or 8th intercostal space in the left side. If it is here anterior to that, definitely there is chance of getting herniation of reticulum into the thoracic cavity. Next. Just previous slide, hyperlink. Next slide, hyperlink. So this is a foreign body pathophysia and just looking into that, we get a very good idea. So here the cat is having a wall. Most of the cattle is in the hurry, the oral discrimination is absent. So the whatever material available in the field it will take. So once it is entering into the esophagus or the esophageal groove, the animal will have a regurgitation and recurrent the retching will be there.